what are the key benefits of parent-driven recovery? How can I see these? How can I see these benefits? Thanks, Shooter. You want to start with that one, and I'll check out these questions.
Okay, I got a little bit distracted by Shooter. What are the key benefits?
The key benefits of
I think of Joe's analogy for so many times from climbers, right? It's not I'm going to tell these kids to go charge the hill. I'm going to charge the hill, and these kids are going to follow. And that was true. I mean, we saw that in our family, and to be honest, Emerson really led that charge. We did not come to Cornerstone with the attitude of Cornerstone fix my kid, for sure. But Emerson just dove. She was ready. She dove in, and as I saw changes in her, and then started working my program, and then it flipped back. But it was just a trickle down effect as I held my boundaries and I got healthier and I stayed in my lane and I focused on me, and everything else became white noise, and I focused on myself and what I could control. Things started to fall into place because I was in my proper position. Then Emerson's boundaries, and it really, I mean, completely honest, if my husband were here, I'd say it, he started wanting to work a program. The healthier I got, the more my husband was like, I want that, right? And so then he started working a program, and now he's in a different recovery program for veterans. And then my son, who does not struggle with substance abuse addiction, but struggles with other stuff, started falling in line. He doesn't work the 12 steps, but he started implementing and responding to the boundaries in our home. And then my daughter in Florida, who didn't even live with us, started making changes. So the more I led by doing my program and minding my own business and maintaining my boundaries, the healthier my entire family got. And I said it earlier, it got worse before it got better, right? Like change is a difficult process. And it doesn't mean it's always perfect. I mean, it's still hard to hold boundaries, but it's critical because also of the shame and guilt, right? If we put these kids in and we say, you guys need to work a program and you guys need to go get this, it puts the problem on them, right? It points a finger at them and says, you guys have an issue, and if you would get your stuff together, we would be better. Well, that just compounds their shame and guilt, and they are already feeling shameful and guilty, whether it's cutting or drugs or depression or anxiety. They already struggle. So we compound their problem, and it becomes super selfish of us to point a finger, and then we're asking them to do something that we're unwilling to do. So on so many levels, I think parent-driven recovery is critical. And to be honest, I think it's miraculous that there are teens that get sober without parent-driven recovery. And I've seen it in this program. I've seen teens, but Cornerstone becomes their family, or their host family becomes their family, and a parent really is driving it. But it is key to the process, has been my experience, and it's a disservice to our family and our teens, but most importantly, it's a disservice to yourself to not get healthy, to not do what you're asking your teen to do, because it only serves to improve your life. So.
Cool. Rex, anything to add to that?
Yes, will you repeat the question? I want to stay on topic.
What are the benefits of PDR, and how do you see these?
Okay, so what came to mind is the main benefit for me was that I became trustworthy because I wasn't trustworthy. I thought I was trustworthy, but I really wasn't. And the acronym BRAVING that Brene Brown talks about stands for B is boundaries, R is reliable, A is accountable, V is a vault, I is integrity, N is non-judgmental, and G is generous. And for me, I wasn't any of those. I couldn't hold healthy boundaries. I wasn't reliable. I didn't say what I meant and mean what I said and not say it mean. I wasn't holding myself accountable or them accountable. And I wasn't a vault because I love to gossip. And I didn't have I didn't have integrity. I wasn't choosing to do the right thing, even when no one was looking, and not choosing I was choosing what was fast, fun, or easy, rather than holding myself in integrity. I was judgmental. I would go one up or one down and judge or become the victim. And I wasn't generous with my love or loving myself or loving other people. And through this program, I learned all of those things. I learned how to hold boundaries and be reliable and accountable and evolved and have integrity and not judge and love myself and other people. And in that way, I became trustworthy. And this program, through parent-driven recovery, taught me those things. Love you.
Love you, man. Yeah, I'm just piggyback off of that real quick too. So there's such thing, and several of you parents in here I've seen become this, but there's such thing as like a catalyst of change. And that's really what a lot of the parent-driven recovery is about. That like we want the change in our home to start with us. Because we know, those of you who are familiar in Al-Anon kind of has their 3 C's, that you didn't cause it, you can't control it, you can't cure it. But a big part of the parent program around here is there's a 4th C in there that we've contributed. And when we're really being honest with ourselves, we know that we have, even through the best of intentions. I judge myself by my intentions, and the world judges me by my actions, which is really the way that it should be. So even through the best of intentions, by creating entitlement, which Sean was talking about, which is a learned behavior, we teach people to become entitled, or our codependency in the various forms that can take, or enabling behavior, and the list goes on and on. So the piece about the parent-driven recovery is really about, I kind of have this philosophy that I've developed over the years, that if I get the parent, I'm going to get the kid. If I get the parent, then they've got some buy-in and some belief and trust and faith in the process and the plan, and they're getting plugged in, attending meetings, climbers, meeting other parents, like all that kind of stuff. If you're doing all those kinds of things and getting engaged on all those levels, then sooner or later, that's going to have a positive impact on your kid and your whole family. But specifically, it's going to have a positive impact on your kid. You're going to get stronger. You're going to gain more knowledge, have more confidence. That's going to instill confidence in your kid, because they're looking for people to follow. And they look to their parents first. When the parents don't give them something to follow, that's when they start to look elsewhere. And so that parent-driven recovery, it can't really be overstated how important that is. The only thing that is kind of on that same level of importance is their friends, is having healthy friends. We are who our friends are. But working on ourselves, it has a ripple effect. It really does. And it's almost impossible to really accurately gauge what that ripple effect will be or what it looks like necessarily, but there will be one. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, there will be one, because we're leading by example, and that's huge.